I will share information with you that is literally life-changing. I guarantee your income will skyrocket, your personal relationships will improve, and everything will move onto a higher frequency. It's going to change your awareness, and it's going to change your life. Hello everyone, I'm Karen Brook and welcome to the live launch of Elevate 2026. It is so good to have you join us across Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, wherever you are watching this. Say hi in the comments. It's great to have you join us today. We're so happy to live launch Elevate 2026 with you. If you were previously on our waitlist, you have already received your registration link for today. So you can get on and register straight away for Elevate 2026. You've also received your link via SMS. If you're not on the waitlist, you still have an opportunity to get a part of this. Go to karenbrook.com/elevate. Opt into the wait list and we'll send you the link to register instantly today and you can be part of the fun. So I'm going to take you through an experience today, what to expect at Elevate, who's it for, why you might like to come, why you would consider bringing your team. You're going to hear from a few people that have attended in previous years. Feel free to ask questions in the comments. My team, Elizabeth and Simone, will be moderating across the different platforms. So if we can help you with anything in the meantime, please leave a comment and we'll do that for you. This is our third year in a row for Elevate. So we are just so thrilled to be able to bring this event back to you for another year, 2026. So it's on the February the 6th and 7th next year, and tickets have officially gone on sale to those on the wait list today. We only have 100 places in the room and it does sell out very quickly. So if you already have the link, get on to the website right now and go and purchase your ticket. And we'll be celebrating those of you on the call as it comes through. I've got my phone next to me here so we can celebrate you as you get going. If you've been to the event in previous years and you're here watching this live stream, feel free to leave a comment as well of your experience and what it was like for you so other people can benefit from that. And this is really about starting a conversation that matters. The more we focus on becoming the best version of ourselves, everybody we come in contact benefits from that. As you will have seen in our marketing, Will Comiskey said, you know, we really owe it to future generations to be the best version of ourselves. We're really creating our future right now based on our thoughts, feelings, and actions, based on our self-image, based on who we believe we are, what we believe we can do, and what we really want, and the legacy that we want to leave. And it is up to us to make decisions that empower us, that grow us, that bring us joy, that allow us to develop ourselves and do better work, greater work, have more of an influence and an impact, not only in our corporations and in our businesses, but in our families and in our friendship circles. And one thing is for sure, that when you grow, when you become the best version of you, that's not a one-time thing. That's something we wake up and choose every single day. And you have that opportunity here with Elevate 2026. Can't wait to have you in the room with us. All right, let's have a bit of a look here about what to expect and what this is all about. So when we think about what Elevate actually is, it is what it is, to raise a life, someone or something to a higher position or an impressive level, to go to another level. Now, when we think about change, when we think about transformation, often we might feel scared or we might fear it. But the truth is, people don't fear change in principle. They fear change they don't understand or change that they don't feel in control of. Now, we can recognize that within ourselves. We may recognize that within our relationships, our families, our teams. But at Elevate, we put you at the heart of your own transformation. We help you to understand who you really are, how you've been creating results in the past, how you can create the results that you really want, and where you want to go next. And next is a really powerful word. Next in your life, what next? And it's not to say that you're not grateful for what you already have, that you're not happy where you are. This is not about being sick or broke or poor and deciding to do better. This is understanding that the essence of who you are is for increase. Your mind is always for increase. The universe is for increase. Your energy, the cells in your body at a cellular level, we want to grow. And how do we grow? The whole basis of transformation requires new ideas because we think from our ideas. So if we've got no new energy, no new ideas, not thinking in a next dimension, then there's nothing new to create from. A mind and body that is not in a creative state, what's the opposite of creation? Disintegration. We're going to start to feel that disintegration. And that's going to show up in our life and in our results down the track. So we want to make sure that we choose growth and we're in control of that. And if we feel out of control, then we learn to take control. We take responsibility for improving the quality of our life, and we take responsibility for being the best version of ourselves. And at Elevate, we give you the opportunity to be that, to do that, to be in a room with like-minded leaders from all walks of life, regardless of the level of success you've created. Everyone's there with the single purpose of growth, of being able to look at themselves, studying themselves, thinking about themselves, their families, their teams, their organizations, and how can we do better? And better is a great word. It takes no more effort and energy to aim high in life and to demand abundance and prosperity than it takes to accept misery and poverty. So why don't we think better? Why don't we think elevation? Why don't we think what else is possible? And really lean into that and make that decision and get yourself in the room for Elevate 2026. If you're already on the wait list, you will have already got your registration link via SMS and into your inbox. If you're not on the wait list and you're seeing this now and you feel drawn in, go to KarenBrook.com, get yourself on the wait list, and you'll get instant access to the VIP early bird registration. Elevate 2026. This is not a motivational seminar, and I am not a motivational speaker. You will have seen me put out some content on that this morning. I think it's very important that we clear that up early. This is not a hype event. There's no gimmicks. There's no rah-rahs. I'm not going to ask you to stand on the tables or chairs and sing anthems. That's not what this is about. This is about deep transformational work that elevates who you are and how you lead, that helps you to understand how you've been creating the results of your life, how you can create more of what you want, how to upgrade those patterns, that conditioning or the paradigm at a subconscious level that's driving the results that you're creating automatically. Now, some of your paradigms will be very positive. The mental conditioning is creating results that you want. Some will be limiting. Some will be outdated. Some we don't even realize we have paradigms around these beliefs, ideas, and habits that have started to condition how we operate. So Elevate is creating a thinking space for you to think. And I really want you to ask yourself this question: how often do you really give yourself the opportunity to sit and think, to take time out, to really sit and think, and yet your life is the basis of your thoughts? Often you'll take time out and think in response to a project, a problem, a situation. You'll think what someone else needs you to think, but think for yourself. Take time to think for yourself, for your organization. My mentor, Bob Proctor, God bless him, he used to encourage us to take a whole day a week just to think. I mean, that's a radical idea when organizations and teams are so focused on the doing, so focused on action, so focused on the mechanical, to actually think that there would be benefit to sit and think and to be with yourself and to connect with your higher power and to notice the desires that are in your imagination and think about the possibilities that right now are available to you would astonish you. And then think about your team, think about your family, think about your children, your nieces and nephews, your grandchildren. Think about how when you grow they all benefit from this too. Think about your team, think about your organization, to really take time to think. And this is not a one-time thing. It's not something that we do around a calendar, even though it works well for people to, take time out at the end of the year and take time out at the end of financial year, and we think around a calendar, right? And it works very well for organizations, and it works very well for marketing, and it works very well. But the truth is, you're always creating in the now reality. Your mind doesn't switch on or off. The laws of the universe, they don't switch on or off based around a 12-month calendar and a 365-day year, right? We're in a quantum universe. We are beings that have a mind, that we're connected with a power. We have a subconscious mind. We are taking action right now, and it matters. It matters how we show up today. It matters how we think today. It matters what we're thinking about and what we're putting our energy into, because that's creating future realities for us now, right? Yesterday is yesterday. It's already old news. And yet most people are still thinking based on the past. Or most people are still thinking based on what's in front of them right now, the situation, the circumstance. But what about really thinking at the highest level for the greatest good for yourself, your family, and your organization? That's the opportunity that we give you at Elevate. Not only do we give you that opportunity to sit for 2 days in that room, but the entire Karen Brook ecosystem is designed to create proximity for you to stay in proximity to the energy that expands you, to stay in proximity to not my ideas, but your ideas. That when the world goes on around you, when circumstances are noisy, when you have responsibilities beyond what you really want to be focused on, that you still have the tools and the resources, the accountability and support, from the club to the GPS to New Success to Elevate to Inner Circle. This is not just for a hit and a hype and a short-lived piece of motivation. I've been doing this work for a very long time now, 2 decades self-employed and well over 12 years in this space. We're not going anywhere. We're here to support you long-term in creating the transformation and the legacy that's right for you, not what I want, what you want for you. So this is about deep transformation. Get yourself in the room, make a decision today, go and register for Elevate 2026 as an individual, or think about who you want in the room with you and come with your team or your family or your business associates, your advisors, rising leaders in your team with our brand new Table of 6 option for 2026. What makes Elevate different? Now let's really think about this. At Elevate, we explore who you are beneath or behind that environmental or organizational conditioning. You have picked up ideas, beliefs from your family, from your business, from your friends, from the media, from your ancestors, and it's all conditioned and shaped who you are. But we've got to be willing to take the opportunity to really say, but who am I behind all of that? Who are you really? What's right for you? And really know thyself. At birth, we're gifted with the most powerful tool we will ever have, more powerful than anything else, our mind. And yet we spend very little time invested in studying it, in studying ourselves. We'll invest in cars, we'll invest in houses, we'll invest in the stock market, we'll invest in other people. But the one person who has the ability to move the needle on your own life is you. We've got to know ourselves, know who we really are. And we've got to keep studying ourselves because life changes. What we want changes. Our circumstances change. It's not a one-time deal. We don't wake up and do this once and it becomes shelf-help, right? You know that thing where you go and do something and it becomes shelf-help, right? That's not this. This is when you get into this work, it expands your awareness and you don't go back from that. You carry that with you forever. And as infinite beings, there's no end to that expansion, right? It just keeps going on and on and on. That's why we say there's no end to personal growth. There's no end to professional development, but we go right to the root cause of it here. We're going to look at how you consciously and unconsciously are creating results. You have a conscious mind and a subconscious mind. 2 to 4% of your results right now are created by the conscious mind. 96 to 98% is created by the subconscious mind. You're a walking, talking creature of habit. Some of those habits are serving you really well. Some of those habits may not be serving you. Some of those habits may be outdated, and some you just want to change because you want new and different outcomes for yourself, for your business, for your family. And think about it. If you've got children or grandchildren or nieces and nephews, you can't give them more than you have yourself. So if we talk a lot about intergenerational wealth transfer, we talk a lot about succession planning, a lot of what are we passing down, but what paradigms are we passing down? What belief systems are we passing down? You know, what awareness and understanding of ourselves are we passing down, right? And we got to think that we're not only doing this work for ourselves, we're doing it for the people that come next. We're doing it for the next generation. We're doing it so that at any given moment, we can really look ourselves in the mirror and say, today, I'm becoming the better version of myself. And we do that on an individual level, and we can lead our team through it as well. We're going to look at the laws of the mind and the quantum principles. Whether you've studied this at a micro level or a macro level, you may have heard it, you may have rejected it, you may have thought, how is that relevant for me? I'm really going to explain it and break it down. You know, when I started to study this a long, long time ago, I'm from the country. I grew up in Birdsville in Western Queensland. And I knew pretty quickly that if I couldn't explain this in a way that a truck driver or a grazier or my dad would understand, then, you know, I wasn't going to be much good to anybody. So I've spent a lot of time studying this and breaking it down in a way that's tangible, that you can use, that makes sense for you, your partner, your family, your business, your organization, your team, whether you're a CEO, a director, an entrepreneur, a small business owner, whether you're earning 100,000, a million, or 100 million, the process is the same, and you get access to that at Elevate 2026. And I'm going to show you how to take these ideas and how they actually tangibly play out in your business and in your life. How to think, decide, and act from a high level of awareness. Just because we gain that high level of awareness doesn't mean we're going to do anything about it. Right? It doesn't mean we've actually created capacity within our self-image to act on that awareness, to turn it into results. We don't want to study material and it becomes shelf-help. This is experiential learning. It's learning where you learn through the experience of applying it and doing it. And we've got the accountability and support and the frameworks there to support you with that. This isn't motivation, it is actual deep transformation. So let's hear now from a few people that have attended Elevate in the past. You can watch these extended interviews when you go to karenbrook.com/elevate. If you're not yet on the wait list, you can go and register, and all of these extended form videos are on our landing page. If you've already got the link to register, you can watch these testimonials on the registration page as well. So let's hear from a few people that have come to Elevate in the past.
I absolutely love this event. It was really inspiring to collaborate with different people and obviously just be in such a condensed room with Karen and her energy and just her wisdom and teaching.
Last year I had a lot of big shifts in my mind and my mindset. You're capable of so much more, and this is the best step to move towards creating that.
It's been about levelling up my skills as a business owner, so continuing to work with Karen has given me the ability to create a new path in my industry.
Trust yourself. Know that it's right for you. There's something here for you and you belong here. And we'd love to invite you to stay.
Beautiful. I want to celebrate a few people that have already registered. I'm just going to go through a few names here that have come in just in the last 15 minutes or so. Katrina, congratulations, Katrina. Great to have you in the room for the first time at Elevate 2026. Great to have you there. We've also got Ange McDonald and her business partner. Great to have you back. They attended in 2024. Wonderful to have you back in the room again, Ange. We've got Athena. Now you will have heard, congratulations, Athena. Of course you're in the room. You've probably seen Athena recently on some of the clips and videos we've been sharing about the event. And Athena had a really important message to share. And I just want to sort of reiterate that at this point, that it's really important for directors, business owners, CEOs, leaders, entrepreneurs to take time to think beyond the usual leadership approach or the usual leadership foundations that we readily seek, and to think beyond that and to really think about how you've been creating the results you've been creating and how you can create new results, even impossible results, results that are far beyond what you've considered before for yourself, for your organization. And in her words, working with Karen Brook is one way to achieve that. So Athena's been in this work for many years now, is CEO and founder of the Flexible CEO, previous chief of staff and chief of strategy of Aon. So she's been in this work for a long time, is in my inner circle. And I think you really want to lean in on that perspective that, you know, there's foundational leadership work and then there's this. And when you get into this, it's just going to add to what you've already got. It's going to make you a more effective leader. You're going to understand people at a deeper level, why they are the way they are. And when we ask them to change, when we ask our employees or people around us to improve and grow, we now are empowering ourselves and them with the understanding of how to actually work at the root cause. When we focus on just changing behavior and habits, that's a secondary cause of results. The primary cause is at our subconscious mind. It's at a much deeper level. And when we understand that, we really drive change at the root cause. So great to have you in the room again, Athena, and I know many people will look forward to meeting you as well. We also have Marianne is in the room again, a long-term inner circle client of mine. Great to have you back in the room, Marianne. Hayley Lyons, great to have you for the first time. This is your first big event or even program with me, Hayley. So great to have you in the room as well. Congratulations. Christopher Hughes, great to have you, Christopher. Christopher's also someone you'll meet in the testimonial videos. If you go to karenbrook.com or if you've already got your Elevate registration link, you'll see his extended interview there. Christopher's a farm manager from Victoria, previous dairy farmer owner, and now works in farm management, and really was initially drawn to working with me, just looking for more. Just wanted more. And that's okay. That's enough sometimes to be the catalyst for change. We shouldn't talk ourselves out of that. When we talk ourselves out of wanting more or wanting growth or seeing what's possible, we actually dim our spirit a little bit. We constrict, you know, we tighten up. The spiritual essence of who you are is for expansion. Increase is a natural law of the universe. It is the natural law of life, is to seek increase. Everything is seeking increase. The grass that's growing, animals, our human beings, the cells in our body, the energy that's flowing to and through us. A business that's not improving and increase is entered disintegration, right? A relationship that's not growing and prospering is entered disintegration. Increase is everywhere. So when you sit there with that little flicker of what's next, or I want more, or that's okay. We want to consent to that. There's no shame in that. There might be a bit of vulnerability, but we certainly should be leaning into it. And that's what started it for Christopher. He's done all of my programs now. He's a long-term part of our community. And people stay because of the energy. They stay because they're growing. They stay because every time they meet this work, they meet themselves in a new way. I'm going to say that again. Every time you come in contact with this work, you meet yourself in a new way, right? You hear something, you see something, you notice something in yourself that you didn't see before. It's not about me. It's not about the material. It's what it does for you looking at yourself. And then as you look at that, you see something in your team, you see an opportunity, you see a self-image transformation that you didn't see before. That's why people stay year on, year out for decades. All right, who else do we have here? Tracy Anderson, and I believe bringing a great friend or a best friend. So great to have you in the room as well. All right, let's get back into this. So let's talk a little bit about change and transformation, the psychological process of transformation. We're not going to get into that today, but there's 4 clear stages in the psychological process of transformation. The psychologists, the neuroscientists, they're probably going to tell you there's more parts to the mind, but there's 4 main parts or parts that we experience as individuals, as human beings, as teams going through change. when we think about why most people don't change, it's not that they fear change, it's that they fear being changed, change forced upon them. Now, they fear change they can't control, or things that when we don't understand something, we fear it. In the same way, I remember when I was first getting my pilot's license, even though I grew up in a family of pilots, the first time I ever had to go and do forced landings, or stalls it was actually, I was really nervous because I didn't understand it. I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know what the aeroplane could do. But once I was taught the process, I didn't fear it as much. Now, I want you to think about that in relation to your own life, your own goals, your business, your organization. When we understand what's going on at a mind level, at a brain level, at a physical level, when we think about change, even just a new thought can trigger us to feel fear. Just the idea of stepping out, just the idea of booking Elevate, just the idea of doing something new can trigger that fear. But once we understand why and what's going on, we are calmer through it. We feel more in control. We can see what's going on in our mind, our feelings, and in our body, and we can self-navigate and self-regulate through that. Now, imagine if you've got a piece of work or a team goal or a business goal that's very prosperous for the organization. Lots of people are going to benefit, but you need your team to drive that change. If they don't understand, right, that's going to manifest in the organization in poor performance, in avoidance, in conflict, in challenges. When we understand what's required of us as individuals and as a team to grow through that change, then we're in a better position to create the outcomes that we want. When we think about change and change that we fear, we really see this first in ourselves, but we'll notice it in relationships. Someone might feel out of control or they're not in control. We'll see it in teams and in organizations. So at Elevate, we put you at the heart of that process. You take control of the process from within, right? We steady you. We give you the awareness, the understanding, the tools to really know what's going on within yourself to be able to navigate that change and transformation process. What Elevate gives you. At Elevate, you learn to elevate your performance. That's not a throwaway line. That's not a marketing line. What is performance? Have you ever thought about that? How do we create results? What is performance? Well, we're thinking in a certain way, we're feeling in a certain way, we're acting in a certain way. Our energy is also in the room well before we are, and all of that is producing results for us. So we need to understand this and begin to take control. When we begin to understand and take control, we're going to naturally improve ourselves, our productivity, our effectiveness, the value we bring for ourselves. And remember now, you're not just part of a team or an organization or a relationship. You're also the CEO of you. This is as much understanding it for you as it is then about being able to contribute that back into whatever system you are part of. And we're part of many systems, our family system, our relationships, our organizations, our businesses, whatever we're doing. So elevate your performance requires to think in new dimensions, to feel in new ways, to take action. And it's not just haphazard, it's in alignment with the direction that we want to go, our purpose, and the results that we want to create. We're going to strengthen your decision making. The leader who knows where they're going can make more strategic decisions faster. We spend less time procrastinating. We spend less time asking other people what they think we should do. When we know where we're going, when everybody is aligned with that, we're able to make really confident, quick decisions. Decision is frequency. It literally flicks our brain into a new wavelength. You're both you're a broadcasting and receiving station at the same time. You'll know this. We all carry energy with us. When we walk into a room, you can tell if someone's in a bad mood. They don't even need to open their mouth, and you feel it. In the same way that if they're thinking in negative terms, you're going to pick that up in their energy. If they're thinking positively, you'll pick it up in their energy. So when we understand that when we make a decision, we're flicking a frequency. We're now broadcasting a new signal There, there I will go. This I shall do. We get on the wavelength of the results that we want to create. That doesn't mean it's just going to happen. Doesn't mean that all of a sudden things start to happen. We've got to create alignment around that with our self-image, with our paradigms, with our actions. But it's the start. And we're going to show you how to really maximize the power of that individually and collectively. Align your self-image with your goals. It's one thing to set a goal. It's one thing to know what you want. That's all done by the conscious mind. Conscious mind it's no big deal when it comes to achieving goals. Anyone can set a goal. Most people do have goals, right? Maybe not very big goals, maybe little goals. It doesn't really matter, right? It's not the conscious mind that matters when it comes to goal achievement. It's the subconscious mind. It's the cybernetic mechanism. We have them in airplanes. We have them in the thermostat. We send a rocket to the moon based on a cybernetic mechanism, self-image psychology. We need to get the self-image aligned with the outcomes that you want. We're going to talk about that. We're going to show you how to do it and get you creating the self-image that matches the results you want to create, both as an individual, but a team also has a self-image, right? A relationship has a self-image. And so we got to think about it at that level as well. How does the team see themselves? How does the organization see themselves? That'll either limit or expand the results that you can create. Right now, your business results are driven by your team identity, without question. Doesn't matter what you as the leader want to do, right? The goal that you've set, your business results are driven by the collective team identity. When that expands, when that goes up, the results will naturally follow. Up-level your leadership. Leadership is both leadership and followership. If you want to be a great leader, you've also got to become a great follower, knowing when to lead and when to follow. The more you get into this and study this, the more you understand yourself as a spiritual being gifted with an intellect. You have an emotional side to yourself. You are a physical body that takes action, the 4 dimensions. The more you understand your mind as a conscious and subconscious in every cell of the body, the more you understand this and you begin to see other people like this with a self-image paradigm, with beliefs, and you understand it, right? We can know it. We can see it in a textbook. We can watch it on a video. Doesn't mean we're going to do anything with it. But when you integrate this, when you really experience it for yourself, it always starts with you. You're going to be a more effective leader. You're going to know how to empower that friend or your son or daughter or your relationship or your team to create change. Now think about the difference that can make. Someone comes to you and says, there's something I want to do, and really being able to help them in a way that's beyond anything you've been able to give them before, a legacy of understanding who they really are, how their mind works, and how to create the results that they want. Shift your team's collective results. When we work at the root cause, we can create positive and permanent change. When your thinking changes, everything changes. It's not enough for thinking to change just for one day though, right? It's not enough just to feel good and thinking to change just for a short period of time. That won't move the needle. We've got to create momentum with this. We've got to know how to be persistent with it. When the fear kicks in, when the paradigm kicks in, when the circumstances try to derail us, when life, isn't exactly what we thought it was going to be, how do we steady ourselves in those moments to still keep moving forward? That's what I'm going to guide you. That's what I'm going to teach you and help you to understand and elevate. There is an invisible side to success. Everything you've achieved so far is from using only about 5 to 10% of your mind. These are not figures that I've just made up. If you study people like Dr. Bruce Lipton, Joe Dispenza, Bob Proctor, you will see there has been research, plenty of research done around this. You have more power locked up in your little finger, right, than is required to power a city for a week. You are so powerful, the electrons in your body, and you're only using such a small amount of that relative to what's available to you. Now, you might not want to increase your performance by 100%, but what would 20 or 30 or 40% mean to you over the next 12 months, right? Bringing another 20% of your capacity, 30% of your capacity, 40% of your capacity over the next 12 months. What could it look like for you? You're going to become calmer. You're going to become more productive. You're going to have new ideas. You're going to be able to achieve more in a shorter amount of time, feeling calmer, happier, more prosperous. I mean, it could be anything for you what this looks like. But really, really sit with this. What now becomes possible, right? If we take the governor off the level that you've been playing at and put in another 20, 30, 40% of power. If you want more light in this room, if we want more light in a room, what do? We put in another light, or we put in a bigger light globe and we get more power. Put in bigger ideas, put in new ideas for yourself, your family, for your business, for your team. You're going to get more power. What now becomes possible for you, your family, your team, or your business? Most people are going through life, right, with like a little skinny garden hose hooked into the power. Think about hooking in the fire hydrant hose. There is all of this power available to you, but your thinking either limits or expands it. Your paradigms either put a governor on what you can create, or you upgrade the paradigm and you build a new one. In the words of Buckminster Fuller, don't fight the existing reality, build a new one that makes the old model obsolete. Don't fight the old model, right? We don't walk around with an old laptop wishing it would work faster, wishing that we could do more on it or we had better programs. If this is no longer giving you the performance that you want, you upgrade it. We spend thousands of dollars a year taking our cars in for a service, putting our airplanes in the hangar and servicing them. We look after our houses, right? We look after our hair, we look after our health, we look after all kinds of things. It's time to really upgrade your mind. Look at the paradigms, look at the shifts that you want to make, and don't fight that existing reality. Build a new one that makes the old model obsolete. Teams have paradigms too. Most leaders don't realize that individuals have paradigms. That's pretty easy to spot, pretty easy to own. We all have them. When I really started studying this work with Bob Proctor, there were a lot of paradigms that really weren't serving me, that I wanted to change, that I wanted to upgrade. And there's 7 major areas of your life that paradigms influence. And I spent a lot of time really improving all of those paradigms. And I've done it over and over and over again, because every next level, every new goal I've set has required me to upgrade my paradigms in some capacity. And what's happened over the years and years and years and years of doing this, of facilitating this, of teaching it, and I never teach anything I don't use myself or I've done myself or I know works, is that it never stops. We just get better at it. We just get more effective. We're no longer really trying to change negative stuff. We're improving what's already there and making it even better, making it more positive. So we do that individually. Teams have them, and organizations also have them. Your paradigms are programmed genetically and environmentally. And there's only 2 known ways to change a paradigm: either an emotional impact, where something happens that sort of shocks us into operating in a new and different way. Unfortunately, that usually comes with some sort of trauma or traumatic event, the death of a loved one or an accident or something that really shakes you to the core, where instantly you have to change. The only other way to change a paradigm is this constant spaced repetition of a new idea or concept. Repetition, the first law of learning. Now, most people don't want to get involved in repetition. It seems illogical to do the same thing, to read the same thing, to study the same idea. But how did you learn anything? Repetition. How did you come to believe anything about yourself? Repetition. You either heard it or you told it, positive, negative, or indifferent. So the way we change paradigms is the same way we create it, through repetition. If a team's paradigm doesn't shift, the business results stay the same. So you want to get this for yourself as the CEO of you. You want to get it for your business, that you're in a more effective position to empower your leaders, to create change. And don't let ego get in the way of this. Really be curious, right? And I always take Bob Proctor's example of this, bless him. He died in his early 80s, but he was so open to learning, even in his 80s, that there was more to learn, there was more to understand, that he was willing to grow, he was willing to change paradigms, he was willing to look at himself in new and different ways. We don't ever want to think that we're done. That's a very dangerous place to live, to think there's nothing more you can get. This is about studying you and putting you and you in the room together and seeing what else is possible for yourself and for your team. Why you might consider bringing your team. When a team elevates together, they begin to think on a higher frequency. Think about a radio station. When you're tuned into the station, you can hear what's on that station very clearly. If you've got 2 or 3 radio stations broadcasting in the same room, let's say there's 4 or 5 of you in the room and you're all playing a different radio station, how do you think it would feel to be in that room? And if you want, type me in the chat. It would feel noisy, it would feel chaotic, can't think, you can't even hear exactly what's on any level. Agreed? You can't hear what's on their radio, your own. It's all chaotic. The same happens in a team if people are operating on different frequencies, different thought waves, with different ideas. Could be around the team goal, the business, the individual. What this process with me does is bring things into a more orderly line, creates order at a conscious level, creates more orderly thinking. Now, when you start to create and think at a higher frequency together, you can imagine if everyone now tunes their radio to the same frequency, what happens in that room? You really hear it. You really feel those songs. It becomes more a powerful vibration in the room. Now think about that. Think about that for your team. Think about that for your organization. When you get everyone thinking at a higher frequency, you become more powerful naturally. Right? This isn't about bigger marketing strategies. It's not about standing on a soapbox and telling the world you're more powerful. You just actually start to express it energetically. You just feel it. You feel it together. The team is going to start to communicate with clarity, really clear. When the team knows who they are and where they're going and is supportive in helping everyone become the best version of themselves, a unit in that team, you're going to communicate with more clarity. You're going to be able to speak clearly, understand each other, the vibration will be aligned, and you're going to be able to get things done, really move the needle on results. You'll be able to make decisions faster. And you'll also be able to see and help those people come along, because it's not just the team self-image that plays out, it's the individual, right? If there's an individual in that team that's struggling to hold the results that the team wants, they're going to struggle to be able to make decisions or take action that aligns with the team outcomes. So when you understand this together, you can hold space, you can make decisions faster, you can make decisions that align with your goal because you know where you're going. And it's very easy to make decisions. Decisions either support who we want to be and where we want to go, or they move us further away from it. So we always want to make decisions that line up with our goal and the self-image of who we want to become, and the same applies for your team or your organization. One of those decisions today can be making a decision to join us for Elevate 2026. Getting yourself in the room, consider bringing your team with you with our table of 6 option. Your team will become aligned to your vision and your goal. Again, let's use the frequency, the radio example. When everyone starts broadcasting that same message, the same thinking, the same image they hold of the goal, of themselves as part of that, you become a very powerful unit. That's going to move the needle in so many areas that no amount of hard work could actually do for you. They produce better commercial outcomes. So every member of your team is contributing to your business success, whether that's an admin role or a senior director role. The more people understand themselves, how they're creating their results, how to create those paradigm shifts, and have very practical tools to apply that on a day-to-day basis, that's going to go directly to the bottom line of your company, but also to the personal and professional well-being that they walk away with every day when they leave work and go home. That then benefits their family, their relationships, their children, and the flow-on effect leaves a lasting legacy for years to come. So the transformation accelerates when it's done collectively. So the new concept you'll have seen us talk about for Elevate 2026 is our tables of 6 option. For the first time ever, you'll have the opportunity to book a table of 6. It's a reserved table for you to be able to come with your executive teams, partners, managers, maybe advisors or associates or rising leaders. So really take a moment to think, if anything was possible, if you could have a table of 6, who would you like to sit at that table with? What sort of people would you love to have in the room? And make that decision today to book a table of 6 and be at Elevate together. And again, this doesn't start on the 6th and 7th of February. It starts when you make a decision. It starts when you act on that decision, because that flicks your brain onto a new frequency. It puts you there. There is a place. People say the paradigm shift comes after the program or after the event. It happens the second you make that decision, right? Something shifts. That opportunity is available to you today. What happens after you register for Elevate? I'm going to give my team a big wrap here. They have done all the behind the scenes work, all the heavy lifting around Elevate to make it the most seamless, enjoyable, transformational experience you'll ever have attending a conference. And we've been to a lot of conferences. I've done a lot of these events under Bob Proctor's mentorship. We know how to help you move the needle. And this information is just as important, because it's little things like this that can trigger the paradigm, that can make it feel heavy, that can make it feel hard. And we want this to be a really easy, enjoyable decision for you. So what happens after you register? You're going to receive our amazing Elevate Concierge Guide that has all kinds of information in it around accommodation, travel logistics, transport options, childcare options, your recommended schedule, your planning checklist, everything you could need for a seamless arrival so that you can walk into the room calm, prepared, and elevated. I'm going to just circle back briefly to childcare options. Feel free to bring your family, your partner, your children to Elevate. The Langham itself is a beautiful place to stay, but anywhere on the Gold Coast makes for a great time away. I would also encourage you to consider inviting your teenagers or young adults to be in the room with you. The sooner they start to think about this and learn about their self-image and their mind and their mental faculties. I talked to so many men and women, so many leaders through over the last decade, and the one thing they all say is, I wish I got this sooner. And we're talking 50-year-old executives. I wish I could get my teenager into this. I wish I got this sooner. If only I learnt this. But you're getting it now, and you have an opportunity to start a conversation that matters with people around you. So advisors, associates, children, teenagers, share the opportunity, encourage people to come with you, make the opportunity available. If you're a business owner or a leader, make the opportunity available for people in your organization to come and attend Elevate 2026 as well. For those of you that are joining our broadcast just now across Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, wherever you are watching this, as you would know, if you're already on the wait list, you've already received your registration link via SMS and direct to your inbox. If you've just joined this stream, you're hearing about it, go to karenbrook.com/elevate, join the wait list, and my team will be in touch with you straight away to share the registration link and get access to our VIP early bird registration. We only have 100 seats. Let me emphasize that again. Get on and register today. This will sell out. It's sold out the last 2 years in a row, and this will be no different this year. So the event is held at the Langham Hotel and Resort on the Gold Coast. It's on February 6th and 7th, a Friday and a Saturday. We encourage you to come in on the Thursday afternoon, get nice and settled. If you're in my inner circle of excellence, we have our inner circle afternoon on the Thursday afternoon before Elevate. If you're not in my inner circle and you're drawn to that, please go to the website and have a look, and you can join Elevate and join the inner circle and be a part of that pre-event. All day Friday, all day Saturday. Don't rush away. Enjoy your Sunday morning on the Gold Coast. Let yourself anchor all of the energy and all of the information. And on the Saturday night, we have our cocktail reception to wrap up the event. People really love the breaks at this event. They love the lunches. They love the morning teas. They love the get-togethers, because everyone is so interested in learning about you, so interested in hearing about your goals. Tracy Anderson, who's attending next year with a friend, she said she's a director in the pork industry here in Australia, pork farmer, sits on many boards. And she said, I've been to many conferences in my life and I've never been to anything that comes close to Elevate. Never have I been in a room where people are so willing to sit and hear and listen to you talk about your goals and what you're working on and help. And that's the really special thing when you come together with people that are talking about their goals, their changes, what they want, and no one's sitting there thinking that's a crazy idea or that's too big for you. I don't know how you're going to do that. There's a level of understanding and respect that is just so special for you to experience, and you carry that with you forever. So again, 100 tickets only, exclusive to the wait list, and those corporate tables are available for you to book online today as well. So the early bird access registration opens today. So if you were on our wait list previously, you will have received the link already to your inbox and via SMS, and you get access to that early bird pricing for the first 24 hours or until sold out within that 24 hours, which is what it usually does. So get on and register quite quickly today. You can book your individual ticket at $980 as part of that VIP early bird pricing, or your table of 6 for $4,900. You're effectively getting that 6 ticket for free. So that's part of our VIP early bird registration release, exclusive to the waitlist. If you're not on the waitlist, get access to the waitlist today, and you'll get access to these special prices as part of our launch. Why this work works. So this work carries a very powerful lineage with it from the late 1800s, Thomas Troward, Genevieve Brand, Neville Goddard, Napoleon Hill, Earl Nightingale, Bob Proctor, Price Pritchett, Raymond Hollywell. It just goes on and on and on. And I feel very honored and blessed to be in a position now to continue that lineage of work and take this work to leaders not only in Australia but around the world, and have done over the last decade. Historically, this work has been used to break sales records, to start and build seven-figure companies, to lead cultural transformation, to reshape organizational thinking at the root cause in a way that is holistic and sustainable for the individual and the team, creating better well-being in the workplace, better outcomes for people at home, rewire performance at scale. Think about it. If you are working on yourself, and let's say you come to Elevate and you really focus on a personal goal and learn about yourself through the lens of something you want to work on personally, your relationship's going to benefit from that growth, your children, your home life, your social life. But that new energy is also going to come into your workplace, into your career. When we look at ourselves and we do this work, we're not doing it in a silo. We're not doing it, I only look at business over here and I only look at this over here. We are one mind and body. It is one energy we take into work with us, and we take into our relationship, and we take into our families. So wherever you decide to work on yourself, if it's at work, if it's in your career, you decide to do this, every other area of your life is going to benefit from it. As a CEO, as a director, as a founder, when you take the opportunity to be curious about what else is possible, what else is next, what other potential is still dormant within you that you could develop, think about the people that you come in contact with. As a highly effective leader on a day-to-day basis, you come in contact with many people, with hundreds, maybe thousands of people over the course of a year. The ripple effect of you doing this for you will astound you. This work that I have been involved in for a very long time now has transformed and touched the lives of thousands of people, possibly even millions of people around the world, people that I will never meet. And the same is true for you when you get involved in this. Oh, look, it looks like my Still there? It looks like we've lost our slides for the rest of today, which is absolutely fine. And this is a great example that sometimes things in our environment change or they don't work out exactly how we thought, but how we continue to respond to that is really what matters. So as a result of that, we're going to finish up today. You have the link in your inbox if you're already a part of our early bird waitlist registration. If you're not a part of our waitlist, then please get on to karenbrook.com/elevate and make the time to watch the testimonials and the videos that are there, taking you through, stepping you through the experience. Really consider who you would have at your table of six, who you would come to Elevate with, and no limits, right? Really be curious about making this decision, stepping into it today, taking action, getting access to that early bird VIP registration offer as an individual or a table of six. We are here for you. We will always be here for you. If you have any questions or need any support in the registration process, please email concierge@karenbrook.com.au and my team, Simone and Elizabeth, will be more than happy to help you get your registration put through. Thank you so much for joining us today for the live launch of Elevate 2026. Wherever you've received this stream, thanks for tuning in and watching, and I'll see you very soon. Take care and bye for now.